Hey traders, I hope you guys are trading safe. Let's take a look at Polygon Matic. It's something we've looked at before. I'd given you this box right here, these two down below. These are your daily demand boxes for structure-based ranges, right? And so they've worked out really well. This one, not so much, but if this does develop into a descending triangle, well, I mean, we will see that box more than likely. But that's so far away, it's not worth looking at. We're going to take a look at the current range in the current box that we've got right here and why it's so important. So this is comprised of some key levels that I've put together for you guys before, Q2, Q3, and the first biannual level. So you'll notice they all come in this region between $1.25 and $1.37. So the resolution of this little guy is probably going to determine the next move. And if we take a look at it from just a volume perspective, whether you're using monthly ranges or just structure-based ranges, you will notice that our falling wedge breakout here is coming into the point of control, which would be your first target. And then from there, you would target like the golden pocket, right? So we just turn on our golden pocket, you'll see that it's coming in there. And I did highlight that there's a bi-weekly level here at $1.46. So this would be your next area of interest or even a take profit. It also lines up perfectly with the value area high of the wedge, right? So that is one thing to bear in mind. Now, if we can get above this little box here, we do have an overall range from going all the way back to April that we would be looking for. And if we were to really dial it in and just throw up May from the all-time high, you will notice that this is our point of control from May right here. And that's what we ran into when we made our previous high here. So we're looking to see if we can start an uptrend on a time frame that matters. So how would that work? Well, we've got a lot of key resistance here to get above. If we lose this region, we'll probably come back down to the lows of the range, which are right here, down in this like 70 to 75-cent region, and that's okay. You could then be setting up for something like a bat. You could come up here and do something like this, and that would all be perfectly fine as long as support is holding and the markets are still looking decent. If the markets begin to look bad overall, though, especially Bitcoin or the stock market, you can expect these cryptos to take a tumble. But that would look something like this, where you come down, you tag it, and then we make like a full range rotation and we go back up to the highs. That's what you'd be looking for there. But we're not there yet. We have to see how this plays out, this falling wedge. So if this falling wedge does play out and we can get back above, I believe it's also going to be the September value area high coming in there, not just the falling wedge value area high. Yeah, it's right there. You will see that we are now challenging value area high in the golden pocket. So what you want to see is a move like this, come back down, test this region. You want to see it come up to this point of control and take that out and then back test it and then make its way up. And then from there, we can actually look at harmonics yet again and we can say, okay, what are our targets? We can say, okay, well, we've established an XABCD pretty easily right here. And if you're on TikTok, this is part 2 of Matic. If you're on YouTube, it's just straight through. So we would be setting up really nicely if we could get above this box, get above this little resistance here or value area high, both from the falling wedge, but also from September. And then ultimately we need to take out our B leg here or the May point of control or just your previous high. And then from there, you've got a low, a higher low, and then you're making potentially a higher high. And that is how an uptrend begins on a daily time frame or another time frame. And it takes time, guys. Not to overuse the word, something like this could take, oh man, it could take a while. You could be looking at something like this running all the way into the end of November. I mean, it could take a long time. So that's just something to bear in mind. This is how I trade. So if we do lose this box, I'd be looking down towards that quarterly open. And if that quarterly open is held as support, let's get rid of the wedge. Let's get rid of some of these things on the chart here. I would just be looking at the overall ranges, even though you could just trade it from a monthly perspective and say, well, if we lose these lows, we're probably going to the lows of our previous month range here in July when we were making them, at least to 89 cents, but more than likely I'm looking for a back test of this range here at around 75.5 cents down to as low as 72 cents. And then I can look to see if that support's still holding or what we've got going on there, okay? So very simple stuff, very easy. Key levels on the chart, you could even just draw them up as horizontals. You got a monthly level up here. If we get above this monthly level, we're clearly making a higher high, right? If we lose our quarterly level right here, we're probably going to challenge these lows, and then you could just draw it off as a box with your Q4 open, and you could just say this is probably the most important support right now to hold. If this important support does not hold, we go right back to our daily demand support right here, and it's another drop down into this region, and we see what happens when we get there. Otherwise, we're looking to see if this can materialize a falling wedge breakout into this monthly level essentially over time and take it out and form higher highs, which then you could look at a Gartley, you could look at a bat, you could look at a crab pattern. But it's one step at a time, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Tried to keep it short and sweet. It'll be a two-parter on the old TikTok. It'll be one-parter on YouTube. Thanks again for watching, guys. Smash the like and subscribe.